If you guys need coins for the new Fut birthday promo, make sure you check out MMOXP.com. Their link is down in the description. They're very fast, they're very cheap, they're very reliable, and if you use my code Rema, you can get yourself a nice 5% discount. So what's up guys, my name's Ash and welcome back to a brand new video. Just want to thank you guys so much for wishing me a happy birthday yesterday. For those that did, I do really appreciate it. I had a great day and yeah, I'm feeling old already. But yeah, anyway guys, in today's video I've got some updated 4231 custom tactics and player instructions for you guys. They're not too different from other versions, but you know, you guys like me to keep you posted on them because you know, you like to be up to date, and that's fine. So I thought I'd upload them again. And yeah, just before we get into today's video guys, I'd very much appreciate it if you could drop it a thumbs up, as that does really help me out with the YouTube search. Also subscribe to the channel if you are new so you never miss out on any videos like this one, and don't forget to turn on those notifications so you are notified when a video is posted. And with all that aside guys, let's get right into today's video. Okay guys, so starting off with the custom tactics for the defensive style, I'm pretty sure you guys that watch the channel can guess what I'm about to say, but I suggest you use balance because it is the most controlled in the game, where you're able to press when you need to press and you're able to drop off and be conservative when you need to be. So it does give you the very much needed control to win those games. Now moving on to the defensive width, this is something I've actually changed since the last time and I've lowered it to 40. The reason that I've done this is because I was noticing that there was too many gaps in my defense when I had the width a little bit higher, so I decided to lower it to make it a bit more compact. We're still able to cover the wings as well, but we just have a bit more of a narrow approach primarily to our defensive game, so it just makes us a bit more solid when we are defending. Now moving on to the depth guys, I've actually upped this since the last time. I'm currently using this on 65. This is so we can win the ball a little bit higher up the pitch, because I don't like the feeling that you get when you're always getting pinned back and you feel like you're always on the back foot. So I like to up the depth to about 65 so we can win the ball higher up the pitch, but at the same time it's not too high to the point where we're always getting through balled. Now moving on to build-up play guys, I have this on balance. This is because it is the most suited for all types of FIFA 23 gameplay you might experience, whether you are experiencing fast gameplay, slow gameplay, fast but laggy gameplay. Yeah, so many types of gameplays, right? Yeah, balance is the most suited for all of them. Something like fast build-up is very good when the gameplay is quick, but as you guys know, it very rarely is, so balanced is probably the way to go. Now moving on to chance creation, there's two main options I suggest to you guys, and the first one is direct passing. This is the one that I use. This is because it makes your attackers bunch up against the defense, so you can do those really overpowered isolation plays to score easy chances. You also get that extra pass option when you are in the box, which is really important to guarantee goals, and it just makes your overall movement better in attack. Now some people don't like direct passing, and that's fine, and the second best thing in my opinion would be forward runs. It makes your players push very far into your opponent's half. Now this can be very useful to create chances, but I don't really like it that much because when you lose the ball you do get counter-attacked very easily. But that being said guys, you can use it if you want to. Now moving on to the attacking width, this is actually the same as the defensive width, and I'm currently just using this on 40. Now the reason I lowered this is kind of similar to the defense but in attack. So what I mean is when I had the width a little bit higher, it felt like a wider formation than it should be because we are using a 4-2-3-1 narrow. So I've lowered the width so it does have a more narrow feel to it, and it's easier to link up the play through the middle. Honestly, it's just played out a little bit better lowering this width a bit. Now moving on to players in box, I'm currently using this on 6. This is the same as the other formations. The reason I do this is because we can commit some players into the box, but we don't overcommit the entire team to the point where we get counter-attacked. As for corners and free kicks, I have these both on 1 because I've got a corner kick routine that requires me to have these both on 1. There is a link to that in the top right hand corner of the screen. Now for the player instructions guys, these really aren't too different, or they might be the exact same as the last video I made on the 4231, so if you've already seen that you don't have to worry too much about watching these instructions, but for those of you that haven't seen the other ones, it's fine for you to carry on watching and I will explain through them. But in the striker position we just have him on stay central. This is so he does not drift off to the wide areas. We need him to stay central so he's always in the correct positions where a striker should be. We'd have him on mixed attack instead of getting behind. The reason for this this is because it gets them more involved in the build-up play of the attack. If you put them on getting behind, sometimes they feel very disconnected from the rest of the team, and it makes you play a very one-dimensional style where you're always lumping through balls over the top, and it's not always the best to play, especially against those good opponents that can read that. So mixed attack is a bit more varied and a bit better in my opinion. Now moving on to the central cam, guys, we have him on default settings. We don't touch him because we don't really want to restrict this player. We want him to do whatever he wants to do, really. He's got the most freedom in this team, so we just kind of leave him alone so he can do whatever he wants to do. Now moving on to the left cam and the right cam, we just have them on get into the box for cross. The reason we do this is because if we don't have them on get into the box for cross, they're very static when we get around the penalty area. They kind of just watch like passengers. So when we put them on get into the box for cross, they make the transitional runs into the penalty area to get more involved. That's why we do that. Works very well. You guys don't have to use it if you don't want to, though, of course. Now, moving on to the left CDM, the more defensive CDM, we have him on stay back while attacking, cover center, and cut passing lanes. We have him on stay back while attacking because he's the defensive player. We don't need him to go forward. We want him to stay back. We have him on cut passing lanes, so he's always looking to break up the play, and it allows us to start quick counterattacks and things like that. We also have him on cover center, so he is covering those central areas as opposed to the wings, because we've already got two wide players on this side, those being Di Maria and Roberto Carlos. Now, moving on to the right CDM, the more box-to-box style player, we just have him on cover center and the rest default balance settings. Now, again, we have him on cover center because we want him to cover the central areas when defending. We don't need him to cover the wing as we've already got Jairzinho and Cafu on this side. And we have him on default settings because, like I said, this is a more box-to-box style player, so we don't really want to restrict him. We want him to do a bit of everything, and yeah, that is why we do that. Now, for the left back, my more attacking fullback, I have him on balanced attack and overlap. Now, the reason I do this is because the 4-2-3-1 is obviously quite a narrow formation. So when we play a narrow formation, it's important to somehow create a wider option going forward. So we put the left back on balanced attack and overlap, so we always have a wide passing option when we're going forward, and it makes you a little bit more unpredictable, and it does really help your attacking game. Overlap means they will make the overlapping runs to add width. We don't really want them on inverted or mixed attack. Now for the right back, my more defensive fullback, I have him on stay back while attacking and overlap. Now we have him on stay back, so we always at least have 3 defenders back, and we're a bit more defensively secure than if we were to send him forward. We also have him on overlap because let's say I do trigger a run forward with him with L1, I still want him to make those wider runs as opposed to the narrow ones, so that is why we do that. As for the centre backs and the goalkeeper, we just have them on default settings and we do not touch them. But yeah, guys, they're my custom tactics and player instructions for the 4-2-3-1. If you guys have enjoyed or found this useful, I'd very much appreciate it if you could drop it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you are new so you never miss out on any videos like this one. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you are notified when a video is posted. And with all that aside, guys, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.